All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome on this awesome Sunday afternoon. Hope you're not watching football because we've got KAGI. I was actually watching football, but we've got the last match of round one of KAGI Top Cut. What's up, Cloggin? Still hype into it's still just slaps. It's so good. Let me get our password here. I think they are just getting in. Oops. Where'd they put that? Oh no. How did... Oh, there we go. Okay, sorry about that. That's the password for the game. So we've got Fabulosing versus Ugluk. Ugluk is a long-time adaptive player, well known for being good. Fabulosing, just a fantastic player all around. Excited to see what's happening here. Let's take a look at our decks. We've got Ugluk on the bottom on a GR deck. Honestly Placid Droth. I might throw these in the chat here just to give you guys links to the deck if you're watching live, but we've got double Doctor Target, double Mars first with a key abduction. No Winds of Death, though. Is interesting. Triple Crush of the Crushing Deep with Curse of Confusion. A little bit of creature control there, and then the Untamed, double Amber Storm, Haunting Witch, Spooky Charge. Okay, so nothing jumping out to me as too crazy difficult on here. It looks fast. It's going to be getting plenty of Amber, doing plenty of Amber control. Some different creature control with the scoop ups. No true board clear, though, will be interesting. So those Amber Storms are going to be really important. Let's take a look at the other side. We've got Mass Mutation. What's up, MMEs? Congrats on your win you just got in NKFL. I just saw that over Hydro. That was awesome. We got Mass Mutation, Spirit, Gwen, Downu, Logo, Starlines, Untamed, and they're already going, so we'll get to see some of this. But Double Kirby, Anthony, Universal Keylock, Bouncing Deathquark, Autoencoder, some Pismires, some Double Resurgence. Okay, so lots of creature Amber control on this one. Also a Quixelstone. Looks like that's going to be one of those cards you're not sure if you actually get played. There is no artifact control in the GR deck, though, so this will be interesting. But both players playing very fast, so let's go ahead and just get into the action. We've got Witch of the Eye getting protected by that Gatewatcher. Neither player haunted yet, so Gatewatcher effect not really happening, but Lumilu is going to be getting to... Oh, looks like it was going to fight. Might want to rethink that. No other beasts on the board, actually. These are both just mutants. Hikaru Icefin going to be able to exhaust all of these untamed creatures if it survives. What's up, Josh? Architect. Good to see you in here. Ooh, also some interesting cards already in the discard. Ugluk's deck also not doing a ton of recursion. We've got the Invigorating Shower, which might be kind of a late game thing if you find it. Same thing with Target. You can kind of get one thing that might be the Key Abduction just for... That doesn't really help you with the Mars combos because you don't have a Ironics Rebel. So really going to be interesting to see how some of these cards play out. We do see Cephalos. Oh, the Lumilu is already exhausted by the Call of the Void. I missed that. So the Cephalos taking out the Gatewatcher, and then Gloriana's Attendant fighting into Witch of the Eye, and Resurgence going to bring both of those back. Both Resurgence has gone already, though, so you usually want to see those getting those Pismires back at opportune times to tax keys. But just going to try and keep some creature pressure here. Already at 4 Amber. So definitely a little bit ahead there, but we could see that Amber Storm come back with the Witch of the Eye. We could see the Spooky Charge, but need to get a little bit more in the discard here first for that to be too effective. Oh, sorry, that was a lot of words very fast. Welcome in, everyone. Like I said, this is the last match of first round of KAGI Top Cut, so this is the only one before we go to the top 4, I believe. Or is it top 8? I don't know. I'd have to. We'll check the bracket after this because we'll kind of see everything. We see the key abduction, and then the target is going to be discarded so that the doctor can Mars first, bring it back. Playing very fast here. So the target archives the key abduction and then archives itself. Interesting. So still going for that key abduction plan, even though there's not really a ton of Mars creatures and not a ton of archiving outside of the target. So interested to see how he uses that. If there's, I mean, you can kind of heal stuff. The blip is kind of interesting, but it's not necessarily all the play effects. He's going to need a lot more archiving for that to be a really impactful, especially if Fabulosin gets some of those more taxing cards down. Very interesting. Very strong though. So up to 6 Amber on Ugluk's side there. We do see the second Amber Storm go. So if this Witch of the Eye gets killed, that's going to be very limited access to creature control going forward for Ugluk. And there we do see the Pismire is going to stop that key. Lumalu taking out Witch of the Eye. Again, just have to get rid of that. Way too dangerous, especially with this Amber total now and what's in the discard. And then, yeah, we're going to see... Oh, does not... Reaps to check instead of taking out the Doctor. Pretty interesting there. Again, without a Ironic's Rebel, the Doctor isn't quite as scary, but even in this situation, you could discard a second Doctor, bring that back, use that to also bring back the target, and then do the key abduction. We do see an Unfathomable Call instead here, so Dirge of the Deep is actually going to hit all of these. He was going to be able to exhaust all of them anyways with the Hikaru. And then the Immersioneer just gets a draw, and then a Crushing Deep doesn't do anything here because no keys have been forged yet on that side. Both players playing very fast, so I am trying to keep up. But this is an exciting matchup. I know, again, Ugluk's been around the adaptive world for a very long time. I have not gotten to play or see their games too often, so should be fun. Fabulous and going logo. So first change in house call for quite a bit. Ugluk is at 9 Amber. This Pismire is going to tax 8 of that. Oh, let me see the key lock come down too. So that coming down right after Fabulous and getting that key means it's pretty easy for them to force Ugluk to get to, really right now it'd be 11 key cost. And then just a bunch of creatures coming down. We've got the Q-Mex for the draw. Using the Fission Bloom to get the extra Amber off of the Universal Keylock. But this is a board, again, with that Witch of the Eye gone, both of those Amber Storms gone. That's a lot of the creature control done. This Icefin is actually still going to be huge because it can exhaust an entire house. So yeah, we do see Ugluk going back into Unfathomable here just to get a little bit more of that creature control. So I'd expect... I think you still exhaust the logos here. Yeah, and then you fight off the Pismire just to get rid of some of that tax. Try and get the key for 9 instead of 11. And with both Resurgence gone, there's a pretty good chance that happens now. Subject Kirby could get something else down. Could be the Antony as well. Yeah, exhaust the logos here with the Icefin. Gets a damage on the Gloriana's Attendant from a Crushing Deep. And then the Under Pressure going on the Odd Clod, so just going to turn that off until it gets bounced or destroyed. We do see the second Pismire, so still able to find it there. Growth Surging it as well, making all of that Untamed a lot beefier. And going to, force the key cost of 11 to go through there. Taxing for a full 11. Pretty brutal with this deck. We do still have 2 key cheats. We do know the... Key abduction is in hand there, but key cheating past all of this taxing is going to be tough. But that's where it's really nice if you're able to kill that Antony and get all that Amber back once it's been played. So see what happens there. But key lock gets blown up, and Fabulosing at check at 6 for key 2. We do see the Mars call. This doctor's still on the board. One of the longest surviving doctors I have ever seen. It's usually something you have to kill, but there's just been crazily more important things to deal with here. And not a ton of creature control on really either side of the board here. Haven't seen the Bouncing Death Quirk yet. No Quixel Stone. Really, I don't even think we've seen a Star Alliance turn yet on Fabulosing side. And the Untamed really just has to fight in order to kill stuff. Ooh, we do see a Blip get discarded. That's going to come back with the Doctor ready. That's going to get to Reap and bring another creature in. We do discard a Witch of the Spore to kill the Lumalu and then archives the Mars first. So, yeah, getting the key abduction out there. Not going to get the key off of it, but just for some extra amber. Did the Blip make itself enter ready? Oh no, it was the doctor that made the doctor enter ready. So really interesting combos going on there. So getting a lot of use out of what wouldn't be traditionally seen as like the crazy strong key abduction play off of that Mars. And we do see a scoop up as well. Going to pick up that Pismire. And the Immersion Near with the drop tip. So lots in archives now. What did target get on the second time? Archive key abduction again, and then archived itself. So lots happening there really fast. So basically what happened is we got the Blip Reap, and then the key abduction happened. You replay the doctor, discard the Blip Reap with the doctor because it came in ready from the Blip Blip comes in, reaps, and is ready, and is able to then let the target come in ready, and that reaps and archives itself. So actually getting up to a pretty big archive here, despite not having some of those normal tools like the Winds of Death. He's actually, working for it. It'll be a well-earned key abduction if he's able to get it off here. Okay. Star Alliance being called for, I think, the first time this game. We got the transporter platform coming down. That's going to be a lot tougher if we see that Antony come down. That gets basically just bounce forever until you can deal with it and keep recapturing all of your amber. We'll see if it comes down here. This amber total of 8 for Ugluk is a lot to deal with otherwise. We do see the subdue hitting the Blip Hadron Collision taking out the Doctor, and then double Kirby with nothing to play with them, but the Kincan's going to come in and might get a steal if Ugluk is forced to go into Untamed here. Nope, goes back into Mars. Just going to use the stuff from hand. Can unstun and then, yeah, use the Mars first. That was archived. Yep, gonna do that. Next card, creature comes in ready. We did see a Grabber Jammer get grabbed off of the UFO. That'll come in, reap and capture. So Ugluk go into 7 here. Another Mars first, and then we do know the key abductions come in. Only 6 cards in hand. Gonna discard something with that target as well. Target with the discard pip on it is pretty sick. You can just archive whatever you've discarded if you want. Discards Immersion Near. Okay, so we see the bottom 3 of that discard, which we were looking at early on, was included the Spooky Charge and one of those Amber Storms. So those are now shuffled back into this small deck. We do see the key abduction. Oh, is able to pay all 9 for that key. With a hand of only 6. Yep, I guess that's how the math works. Wow, there you go. GG to Ugluk. That was some nasty stuff from that Mars. We'll see if Fabulosing is able to replicate that. I think the Mass Mutation deck was still in trouble because it relies so much probably on that Antony late game. Those 2 key cheats really make that difficult to be reliable because all they have to do is be able to kill it once. All right. Did we get the first player right on this one? I don't know if we were checking that or not. Did you all catch who went first game one? I definitely was not. I think it was the mass mutation deck, which would make sense. Ugluk's got it now and is going first. Gets a causal loop right away for some extra archiving. Gosh, I'm gonna have like cotton mouth after this. I'm talking so fast. Good though. It's a good practice for KFC if I'm gonna be doing any announcing there, which I need to talk to them still. It's coming fast. I'm excited. I'm very excited for Keyforge Celebration. It's gonna be a long week though, and just so much talking, so much people. I'm an introvert, so that by the end I will be exhausted. But it's worth it. All right, Fabulosing. Getting some Mars going. We see the key abduction right into the target. Guessing he's going to archive that. Yep. So just going to try and replicate what Ugluk was doing. We do see the Mars first here too to be able to archive that target right away. That's really strong having both of those in there right away. Shrink Ray Technician coming down. That'll be able to do a little bit of creature control. There's not too much in here that's going to be 2 power, except for that Star Alliance stuff. Those Kirby's and the Kincan. The Shrink Ray Technician takes care of pretty well. Ooh, we do see the Universal Key Lock come down early before either player has a key. So Ugluk just kind of assuming the GR deck is going to go faster in terms of amber generation here. So just basically wants to kind of slow that down a little bit while they build up kind of their board and maybe some archiving, trying to find more logo stuff. We see Burning Hydra and then an Amber Storm coming down, so just kind of keeping the board clear. Doesn't want to get overwhelmed by that Untamed stuff like happened last game. Oh, I lied. There's 2 things that the Shrink Ray Technician can kill. Chonkers and Gloriana's Attendant. And we do see the Mars Call here. It'll be interesting to see if the archives gets taken. He does take it. Probably has another Mars first then. See if there's a Doctor as well, though. So the target and the key abduction being in the archives there. We'll see what else comes down. This is going to probably kill the Chonkers. And we're going to see that Amber total go up pretty quick. But again, no way to deal with that artifact. So if you want to forge here, you're just going to have to, yeah, just forge past it. Get to 9. I'm a little think about the sequencing here. I mean, again, Ugluk was playing this Mars stuff so fast, very, very practiced with the sequencing for this kind of interesting Mars hand, or Mars suite and how it works. We do see the Blip come down and then Reap with the Mars first. Target is going to get the Mars first. So might just be letting the key abduction go here. Target will Reap and archive itself. Oh no, you probably fight here, then play the key abduction, replay all of this, so you get the second archive with the target. Also wants to make sure, well, I mean, yeah, so we get the fight there. Yep, there's key abduction. So now target will come back down and get that tucked away as well. The only thing is this leaves the target exposed. So the target might get killed here, which will require a Doctor's Eye Locks to get it back. Oh gosh, we do see a Grabber Jammer as well. Is there a, let's see this key abduction quick. There's not a drop hip. So this has just been sitting in hand the whole time too. That is a crazy Mars start for Fabulosing there. Still not a check though, with the key lock down. There's the Quixel Stone. That changes this game a lot already. The Mars is out already, so now you have to find a way to deal with it. We are going to see the Hadron Collision and the Subdue here, hitting the Shrink Ray Technician and the Blip. But no more Doctor coming down. And if that target reaps, that'll shrink the board even more. Does get the Can down, so if you go Unfathomable here as Fabulosing, you're going to be giving up an Amber. At this point, it doesn't matter a whole lot with the key lockdown. Everything is kind of more expensive anyways, but yeah, goes back into Mars. Might actually, I wonder if you pull the archives here. If you can Mars first your Shrink Ray to kill the Kincan. I don't know if you really want to do that though because of the Kixel Stone, but Kincan can actually get a lot of value over time if you don't deal with it. And that'd be easier than fighting it unless you want to try and get a Doctor out, but you can't really Doctor with the Quixel Stone down. So very, very big artifact that we did not see in game one. I was kind of wondering if this deck wanted to play it or not because there's still a lot of creatures in here. And creatures you really want to get back for like Amber Control, like the Pismires. So yeah, this will be very interesting to see how this Quixel Stone changes the game. We do see the Doctor get discarded there, so just no way to really use it. Just Reaping here. Ooh, plays a Scoop Up. Man, so many Mars cards here. It's got 4 in the discard, 2 more here, and I think 3 or 4 in the archives. Yeah, very, very big Mars start. But again, key cost is at 9. Probably going to pay all of that. Real question now is just how does Ugluk kind of deal with these last creatures on the board and start getting Amber back? Because I don't really know how this deck gets Amber either without having creatures on the board. It's going to have to be some transporter platform stuff. Do you see a Logos turn? Dimension Door, not really going to do anything. Bouncing Deathquark, taking care of the Grabber Jammer. And discarding Odd Clod, playing a Causal Loop to get some more archiving going. Passing back. So we do see that key lock getting blown up. Fabulosing, forging a key for 9. Still has 2 Amber here. And yeah, we're just going to see a bunch of actions coming out from Unfathomable. Getting a lot of Amber there. And putting the curse down. Actually, not much Amber. Only 1 action, but getting the curse out just to make things a little bit trickier for Ugluk to get Amber with. Ugluk going back into Logos here. We do see the autoencoder, so that will definitely help speed up their deck. Discarding the Causal Loop and discarding QMech to get the archives going. So I don't know if this deck has sort of like a... I don't think there's any kind of infinite loop combos really outside of doing some bouncy stuff with the transporter platform, but we'll see. What's up, Dataforge? Zoc, welcome in. We're in game 2. Ugluk's GR deck took game 1 with some crazy Mars stuff, and then game 2, it has already done a lot more crazy Mars stuff in Fabulosing's hands. So we're just watching this unfold. Big difference is that we've got the Quixel Stone down and the autoencoder down, which we did not see either of those in game 1. So could make it a little bit closer with this MM deck, but the just initial momentum of the GR deck is a lot higher. Okay, we see a couple discards here, and then a Low Dawn, and then Invigorating Shower on the Unfathomable. Again, the Unfathomable has a lot of action, so just going to try and get a lot of pips played until you find those that second key cheat in the... Oh, really? You already have enough for probably close to 1 key cheat with the Key Abduction, so again, beating that Spooky Charge is going to be really tough for this MM deck. We see the Reclaim by Nature hitting the Curse of Confusion there, and then discarding of a couple more things, playing Resurgence to get him back and do more archiving. So we got 6 in the archives now. I see Immersioneer get discarded on the other side. Shuffling back in a Gravid Cycle, Amber Storm, and Mars First. Those Mars First also will be pretty scary, even just with 1 Mars creature on the board. That's just a lot of burst that this MM deck is just going to have a hard time dealing with. I think really their main goal here is going to be to try to find that transport platform, which maybe they have now. Got an access denied on the 1 creature on the board. Some pips on there. But again, these pips are probably the ones you want to be able to bounce with your own transporter platform instead of playing on your opponent's creatures. But there's some Amber Burst going up to 9 here, but we are giving up key 2 to Fabulosing here. Just for the 6 Amber, and so now we know there's 2 key cheats in play for Fabulosing's deck, so really don't need to get too far, especially with the 5 in archives. Do have 4 in archives on the other side, though. Again, a bunch of these Star Alliance creatures getting discarded and the transport platform coming down to see what that Anthony can do. Gives back the Kincan by picking up the archives. We do see a key abduction here. Target will come down, discard a card, and then archive the key abduction. We'll probably see a Mars first. I believe we have a Mars first that was archived as well. Archives low dawn. Okay, so just finding burst now in Untamed to be able to get that spooky charge. And there's another Mars first. Again, just going to be getting a bunch more Amber here. Ready and Reap. Discarding the Doctor. Yeah, so going to 5. So 1 Amber and a spooky charge basically ends this game. We'll see if Ugluk found the Anthony here to be able to at least slow this down. I don't think they have the Scoop Up archived, though. Yeah, Scoop Up is gone, so killing that Anthony, when it has all of your Amber, you can't really do it with the Amber Storms. Replaying the Universal Keylock. That's tricky. I don't know how you get past that here unless you decide to purge it yourself later. Got a Universal Keylock. Or Sloppy Lab Work, going to be doing some more archiving, both on the discard and on its action. Discards the Fission Bloom. Interesting. So still just archiving away, but leaving Fabulousing on 5 Amber. Key cost is 9 right now, so we need to find 4 more Amber to be able to spooky charge. We do know the Low Dawn is in archives, though, so that's 3 if there's enough. There's not enough Untamed creatures, so they would need to find some Untamed creatures to discard. But was Untamed... I don't remember if the Invigorating Shower got... that's a ways back. If that got used or if that was discarded. I kind of thought it was discarded, but maybe they shuffled the Untamed back, because I know we saw the... Oh no, the Blurnian Hydra was reshuffled on the last Low Dawn. I don't think we've seen really any other Untamed creatures. How many are in this one? I don't think it's many. Oh, I mean, Hydra, Spitter, Haunting Witch, Murmook, Witch of the Eye, Witch of the Spore. Haunting Witch being turned off is pretty big for slowing down that spooky charge. So really, it's got to be... Let's see, Low Dawn gets you to 8, and then an Amber Storm gets you to 9. But only if you have the creature to discard for a Low Dawn. I do see the Untamed Call here. See if he takes the archives. Does not. So just discarding some creatures. Getting that ready. Okay, so that's it. Just discarding a couple creatures. I mean, they know Ugluk has to get past this Keylock too. And as soon as that happens, you're in a place to just key cheat anyways. This is really interesting because I think we've seen the Mars probably do more than normal in both of these games. We can see a little bit more what can happen with this deck if you get the artifacts out early, especially if this Quixel Stone comes down game 1, then game 3 could be turn 1. Game 3 could be totally different in slowing down that Mars Amber generation. So it's going to be really interesting bidding chains on this if it does go to game 3, which it's looking like it will. This GR deck has some very nice tools for dealing with what the MM deck is doing. Ugluk having to think here, probably trying to figure out really what is a winning line. Especially without playing many creatures. Anthony gets you pretty far, right? Being able to just get them back down to 0, so they have to kill it, and then find enough Amber after that for the key cheat. Opposition Research is going to stop any reaping. So trying to slow down. Well, Key Abduction's gone, though. So we're not going to get a Key Abduction in Mars. Bouncing Death Quark. Interesting. I wonder why you don't just discard the Opposition Research there. I guess just to stop any kind of Mars first stuff. Do see Untamed Call really quick. There's our 3rd creature. Low Dawn going to get us up to... Yeah. Spooky charge. There it is. GG's. So there you go. GR deck taking games 1 and 2. I'm really interested what the bid on this is going to be. Any guesses from the chat on what you would do for how dare you change the password? Amber Meaty says 5 on the chains. Whoops. Strange. Set the passwords. Just gonna sit here trying different passwords until it works. Oh, there we go. I don't know. Maybe I just clicked it too fast. Didn't see enough to guess. 6 or 7. I don't know. I again, this is why KAGI. This is why adaptive is tough sometimes, because I don't think either of those games were necessarily like the average game between those two decks. Yeah, right, Josh. If the Quixelstone comes down really early and stops Mars, or even if we see the Mars later in the game, like it came out early for both of those decks. We saw the key abduction, we saw the target pretty early. That said, I don't know how the mass mutation deck gets past also the spooky charge. Because again, like there's some interesting calls here with like all of the unfathomable, like those crushing deeps. If you do it right, like you could just stop the mass mutation deck from forging for several turns in a row, or blow up a lot of amber, and that deck doesn't make a ton of amber once the Quixelstone is down. So, yeah, there might be there might be play lines with the mass mutation deck also that we just haven't seen yet, and might not be super obvious. So like Fabulosing might take it on like 5 chains. Bids 3 first here. Go to 4 fast from Ugluk. But it's definitely a tough call. I think this is the AGR deck can high roll, the mass mutation deck can high roll, and it's a completely different game. Yeah, the universal key lock is also interesting, but like it's you have to do what Fabulosing did in game 1 where you play it after you've gotten your first key, and they haven't. Playing it as like it just does not work for catch up, or it's very, very difficult for it to work as a catch up mechanic. So having to think 4 chains here for Fabulosing. Fabulosing gives it up on 4 chains. So just again, I think kind of similar thing. One, he wants to use his deck because I don't think we've seen what that mass mutation deck can fully do once you get like transport platform and Quixelstone going. I'll let them figure this out. And hoping just a couple chains really slow down the Mars, and it doesn't quite. Spelled it wrong. There we go. Okay. So Fabulousing has the Mass Mutation deck. And again, the Mass Mutation deck is going first, so that's another reason why you maybe do one less chain on the GR deck. I really wonder if Ugluk wouldn't have gone 3 or 4 more chains on that one, but we'll just see. There's a reason they are here and I am not. I did not have a great season. Oh, there's the Quixelstone turn 1. So there you go. Already completely different game than the first two. Fabulousing just willing that into existence in their first hand. And not really much of an answer to it. Again, like the key cheats are still good, but your Mars just is not going to be able to do as much as before unless Fabulousing plays at least one creature. Then you can do a little bit. I think the big trick will be to see if the autoencoder comes down pretty soon after. So if not, I just think this is going to generate too much amber. Discards the Gravid Cycle. It's tempting to try and get the amber there, but it's just you don't want either of these cards back right now. First time Ugluk has gone to game 3. Is that? I would have to have either Murph or Quick Draw confirm that. I'm not, or if someone else can look at the league document. But I think, yeah, Ugluk is a good adaptive player for sure. We do see the curse come down, and then Dirge Deep getting a little bit of amber, but now we see the rest of the artifacts. So just, yeah, worst case scenario for Ugluk here in terms of the Mass Mutation draw. Yeah, very, very scary now. All right, so there's our Doctor. Gonna get to, yeah, just Reap with the Doctor. Gonna keep it on the board. So now you kind of almost can't play creatures if you're Fabulosing, because this starts getting more value as soon as you do. But I imagine we start seeing some discarding, Resurgence, and then discarding again just to get a bunch more archiving going with the autoencoder. Could see this get purged as well by the reclaimed. I wonder if you actually shouldn't play this just so that they don't have a reclaimed target. Yeah, because now that's basically, I mean, it's only 1 amber, but it is basically 1 free amber for them. Otherwise, they probably discard it because they don't want to purge any of these. We see a Growth Surge hitting the Doctor, so it's now a big Doctor Xylox, and then a couple discards for some archiving. 3 more untamed creatures getting discarded here, but yeah, this is a tight spot for Ugluk. Just the draw. The draw that was needed. But there's also the confidence there that even if the draw wasn't this good, Fabulosing's still confident that he has lines to win the game, so otherwise we would have gone for more chains, right? 4 chains is not that much. Unless you actually are pretty sure the decks are more evenly matched than the first 2 games showed. Okay, we got Logos does discard the Universal Keylock there. Because that it's got a pip on it, but that doesn't help you because it would make the key cost increase as well. We do see the Doctor with Mars first there, just getting some more amber, getting up to check here. So this is tricky. I mean, I guess we saw the key lock get discarded already, so you're not really planning to use it to stop a key. But Fabulosing not at check yet, so it has to decide if it's, yeah. I guess it's not much of a decision. They're just going to discard and archive more. We do see the Resurgence there to get some creatures back for more archiving. Up to 10 cards in the archives here. Already through the deck. Last 6 cards. Still not even at check, though. So this is where it gets really interesting. If Ugluk starts seeing a lot of those pips, yeah, from the Unfathomable. Ooh, hits the transporter platform with the Hikaru Ice Fin. That's an interesting one. I didn't know that was artifacts, too. That could be really relevant later in the game, right? If they're able to get that back. Is Call of the Void? Call of the Void doesn't hit an artifact, does it? I think that's only creatures. Fabulosing. Going back into Logos. Okay, so we're gonna see some pips get played here. Fission Bloom for 2 pips there on the Sloppy Lab work. and 2 draws. So getting through the deck there, so actually going to get more value off of the autoencoder. Otherwise, they wouldn't have because there was nothing left in the draw pile. Subject Kirby getting discarded, bouncing Death Quark, discard Dimension Door. Yeah. So the goal is basically to get the entire deck in hand, and then you can just loop Star Alliance stuff here, is my sort of expectation of what's happening. We do see the Bog Spitter get discarded for a steal. Amber Storm comes out, and the Low Dawn to get back to 6. So at check for key 2, Ugluk kind of, I mean, it's pressing a lot, right? We know the Spooky is gone. There is still the Unfathomable card, the Immersioneer, that can reshuffle these 3 back into the deck. So have to be a little bit careful, but that is a lot of your Untamed Burst gone as well. I wonder if you're Ugluk, if you try to get this killed so you can get the Witch of the Eye out, just to really force them to have some extra creature control. Okay, Fabulosing having a think here about what way to go. Could have the Universal Keylock here, but again, maybe it's worth it at this point since your game plan is just continue to get Archive going. I don't think this is enough to pull the Archives yet if your plan is to have kind of a 0 hand, 0 draw. Which I think is what you do based on the like upgrades we saw and stuff. You basically just continuously bounce Antony with those upgrades on it so that you can just redraw your actions, your like 1 or 2 Star Alliance actions, and get a bunch of Amber. Because there's the one of the Star Alliance artifact upgrades has double Amber pips, and I don't remember if one had a draw on it or not. We'll have to see. Ooh, calls Untamed and takes Archives. Plays a Pismire. Okay, so this is a little bit scary if you don't kill the Doctor here. But does want to slow down these keys now. Does some discarding. See if there's a Resurgence coming here. We only have 4 more cards to archive anyways. I think now the interesting thing is if you're Ugluk, you just kill off your Doctor and don't play any creatures, and they can still just bounce this with the transport platform, I guess. Okay, so it's almost the whole draw pile archive there, and lots of Untamed in the logo. So the hand is probably mostly Star Alliance plus a couple cards here. It's very interesting. The key was stopped, though. I think that's a really important detail, stopping the key there without playing the Universal Keylock. Ugluk goes into Mars. Okay, so what's in our discard for Mars? Second Doctor or Shrink Ray. So it could be target from hand. It's discarded. Or if you have the Blip Bip, you could do the key abduction combos. We'll see. This will probably be a decent amount of burst, though. Still, oh no, both Mars firsts are gone. So actually might not be anything too crazy. Could be a scoop up here, though, which would be not too bad. There's the target, which was discarded first, so it came out ready. I get the discard. Discards Gatewatcher and archives the Low Dawn. So going for kind of that same end game of trying to get the spooky charge. And then the scoop up on the Pismire. Going to check at 9, so we could see the Universal Keylock come down here just to blow up as much Amber as possible. But at this point, it could also be the Antony. I don't know. Okay, we do see the Star Alliance call. Takes all the archives. Excited to see the sequencing of this. Plays the Hadron for some extra damage on Xylox. Interesting. Plays a Dino Alien with the damage pip to finish off the Xylox. So not going to do this first and then play the Anthony afterwards. There is the draw pip. Flash shielding, stunner. Okay, so this one does have 2 Amber and the draw pip. So going up to 6 here, and then we're going to see all of those get replayed. Again, most likely on the Anthony. Yep. Anthony comes down. Again, this deck, especially with that scoop up gone now, I wonder... Well, we've got the target in archives, so I think problem is you're probably like 1 turn too late. Being able to scoop this up this turn would have been massive for Ugluk, but it's going to be 1 turn delayed because of having to play the target this turn to get it. See Untamed instead. This could be a Skeletal Murmook just to try and tax this key a little bit. Got a Bog Spitter for a steal. Discards Witch of the Eye, discards Haunting Witch. Plays the Lodon to reshuffle them. Gets back to 6 here. Fabulosing, forging the key though. Already at 3 Amber, 4 key, 3. And going to be able to just rinse and repeat with that Anthony. And again, stop this key. Brutal. So again, this is like, we didn't get to see this Mass Mutation deck do this stuff in either of the first 2 games. Anthony didn't get played, I don't think, in either of the first 2 games. And the really big thing with this is a lot of the creature control in here is the Amber Storms, which require you to have Amber in your pool, which Anthony takes away from you. Is really, really tough. You could get a lucky Dirge of the Deep into Call of the Void, but you have to kind of have those at the right time. So yeah, pretty tough here. Echoing Death Knell doesn't do anything. That scoop up, I think, was maybe the only play, but that's so hard to see until it's too late. Like I definitely didn't see that until I was thinking like, oh, how do you actually kill this? It's the scoop up, but 1 turn off. Especially too because the scoop up took the only creature off the board. So Fabulosing would have had to bounce that Pismire to be able to play this, which means... Oh no, they would have been able to play the... Yeah, no, that would... Man, so much happened on those 2 turns. Because if you don't scoop up the Pismire, you still have your Doctor on board. Fabulosing has to play the Alien with the damage pip to kill... I guess you don't have to kill the Doctor. That's the trick. You just play the Anthony instead of killing the Doctor and do this stuff. There's a Subdue. It can't reap anyways. Transport platform and back. Ugluk going up to 14 Amber, but that is all going to go away. Yep. And all of those upgrades will come back, getting Fabulosing up to... It'll end up being like 9 Amber. You get the draw as well to flip the deck. Might have happened last turn. Flash shielding, stunner. Maybe it's only 8 Amber. Yeah. But that's still... Yeah, we're going to start seeing those crushing deeps. There's an under pressure, but under pressure is not really doing much there. Echoing Death Knell, not doing anything with the armor. And yeah, it's rinse and repeat for Fabulosing at this point. Oh, is there not a... Did I spell that wrong? Maybe it's different. They spell it different. There is a U here on Discord. Yeah, so not forging here because of the crushing deep. But yeah, I don't think there's any reason. Just double checking to be completely sure. There's nothing that's going to punish you here. I guess the one interesting thing you could try to do is like have a way to kill your own Gatewatcher. But again, both of these cards, I think this is the only way you could kill it yourself. But that would be able to kill this on an Unfathomable turn. Yep, we do see the Unfathomable turn again. Second Crushing Deep under pressure, but 12 Amber going to be able to forge there, and that is game 3 taken by Fabulosing. Yeah, that early artifact line was definitely brutal. It's hard to know though how soon like the doctor comes out. I guess there was one discard early. But there you go. So that is our top cut. Round 1 finished up. Congrats to Fabulous and congrats to everyone who made it up to here. Let's now take a look at our brackets. My dog is just growling because she's bored, I think. Okay. Oh, so this does take us down to top 8 then. I thought it was going to be top 4. So we've got Algernon, who's going to be against Fabulosing now after winning that. We've got Sword Spears, which I think is Melismati, which we saw on another one of these streams, versus Quick Draw. Holy Stew versus Amber Meaties, and Sith of Angmar versus Mooseman Dude. That's a pretty awesome. I mean, this whole top cut, so many fantastic players, but awesome to see who's moving forward. We had only 3 2-0s, lots of 2-1 games in the top cut, so exciting to see. And these will be some really good games. We'll see what we can catch. I was pretty fortunate to be here for this one. Love getting to do it. Thank you to Ugluk for reaching out. And thank you everyone for watching. I think we're just going to cut it off here, and I need to get going with my day. But thanks all for hanging out, and be on the lookout for the next round of these, probably starting tomorrow. And yeah, for any streams that are happening with that. Thanks again for watching, and we will see you later.